welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
Well. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Welcome back to the NBA Bet. We're so back. We got a fun one today. We're just going to bounce around the league a little bit. We've had some practices, some weight gains, some fun stuff to talk about. And then we'll do some over-unders for the Eastern Conference. If you missed it on Monday, I believe it was Monday, we did the Western Conference. Whoa, Boston based. I don't know. Did you win some Top Shot money or something on the birthday? Just gifted out 20 NBA bit memberships. Very kind, sir. Very kind. Before we do that, though, let's get into the chat. Who do we got here? We got Boston Base, who again was just making it rain on them chats. We got DJP up in here. We got Common Man with a good Clippers joke. I see what you did there. Daniel Pedro in the chat. We love to see it. Stubbs is up in here. We love it. Let's get some business stuff out of the way before we really get into it. So I don't know if you saw yesterday, but we had a little fun stream announcement, if you will. We officially built the stream here for our big time show on October 21st. October 21st. Look at it. We're live in 19 days, baby. That's right. 19 days till the start of the NBA season. You see those question marks in there? One by one, we'll start revealing some of these guests as we get closer. We've got a presenting sponsor in MoonPay. You saw that. We're going to be giving away $200 to different MoonPay wallets during that show, which is going to be exciting. We're going to give away some NBA tickets that show. We've got our first live before lock that night. So we've got a lot of fun stuff on the very first day of the season. So make sure you tune into that. Like that video already. Get it ready. Get it popping. Get it cooking. Do all of those things. So stay tuned. I'll have a full announcement, I think, next week of what the content schedule is going to look like for this season. I'm still having a couple of meetings. We're still having a couple of conversations. So I need to understand what that schedule looks like before I announce the whole thing. But I hope to have that ready for you guys by Monday or by the end of next week, the latest. But we got to find out soon, because do you know there's a basketball game today? There's preseason action today. I forget who the Sixers are playing. The Sixers are playing somebody at noon, I think. At noon. But let's there we go, today at noon. Thank you, Boston Base. But let's dive in. You guys want to start with the Clippers stuff? Our guy Ty Lue is out there saying Bradley Beal's going to start. The weirdest quotes. So Bradley Beal is going to be starting at the shooting guard, which I thought he might be in a bench role. I thought there were going to be plenty of times he started, but I wasn't sure if he was going to start at the 2 guard, because I was wondering if they were going to go the Chris Dunn route, where he would do a little bit more of the defensive stuff for him, the dirty work, if you will. But they're going to go with Bradley Beal. But then Ty Lue was like, I don't know if John Collins is starting. I don't think it really matters one way or the other. I feel like they're all going to play the same amount of minutes regardless. And it just reminds you, you forget all the different guys the Clippers got. Chris Paul, we got to find that Chris Paul picture, though, because Chris Paul looked like he was rolling up to my 40-plus game last night in the photo that was shared. Let me see if I can find this quickly. I thought I had it pulled up already. I don't. But man, CP3 looked old, and I respect it, though. I respect how old it looked. Wow, there's too many tweets to go through. I guess we have to search for it. This is really good content here. But we have to talk about here we go. Here's NBA memes. We'll share this one. We got Patty Coyne in the chat. Love to see it. What's up, Patrick? Look at CP3 right here. He looks like YMCA washed. He's not. He's going to go out there and he's still going to ball out because it's CP3. And just a real quick story. I tweeted this what happened out last night, but we had our 40-plus game last night, a 7:00 start time. So shout out the New York Urban League for making it a 7:00 start for a 40-plus. And I got to tell you, your boy You guys know I've been under the weather the last couple of weeks, finally starting to feel a little better. But I haven't done any sort of cardio in 2 straight weeks, which is might as well be 10 weeks. And not my best performance last night. But in one of the funnier things that happened, that I almost got my butt kicked. Almost got my butt kicked. But one of the things that happened last night is, a guy comes down, a bigger guy. Somebody missed a shot. He kind of jumps over my back legally, grabs the board and puts it back in. He yelled too small, and then he flexed, and he just kept saying babies. He just kept saying, he said it like 3 times, like babies, babies. And so the very next trip down, he went, because he was guarding me too. He went under the screen that was set, and I just stepped into a 3 and knocked it down, and I yelled, too dumb. I was like, too dumb, babies. And and man, it was like I really had to work on it for that to be like a fun thing that we did instead of me getting my ass beat. It did look a little concerning there. We ended up losing the game. I think we lost by 5 or 6. We were missing a couple of our guys, but sometimes the improv brain provides laughs. Other times it almost provides getting your ass kicked. So we were very close there. But shout out Chris Paul, who looks a little washed. Let's just kind of bounce around the league here and see some stuff that's been popping off. The Miami Heat are talking crazy. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Miami here, but everybody's got a wild quote. Davion Mitchell says he expects a championship from the Miami Heat. Norman Powell called himself a budding superstar, I believe it was. I was trying to find that quote. He called himself like a superstar in the making, something like that. And then Nikola Jovic got paid. So shout out Jovic. I know there was some concern there from Stan in the chat. Did not really like the Jovic deal. So Miami Heat forward Nikola Jovic has agreed to a 4-year, $62.4 million rookie contract extension. I don't know how we got. Oh, we got Juan Stockton in the chat. Let's go. Good to see you. I thought this was fine. Maybe it was a little too pricey. Maybe it was. They also thought they'd beat the Cavs. I thought this was maybe a little bit of an overpay. But what I kind of like about this is it's healthy enough financially that if you need to move off of it, you can include this in a trade. I feel like you can still get off of this deal pretty easily. I also like it because if he does pop off this season, if he does evolve a little bit as a player, then this is a pretty good deal. This is a pretty good deal for him. My concern here is just injury stuff. I feel like when Jovic is on the floor, he's proven he can shoot the ball. An okay defender probably needs to get a little bit bigger and grab some boards. I think Tom Ziller said something today that he's had like 1 double-digit board game in his career. And so, you probably need him to stay healthy for this to be a good deal, but I kind of like it. I think Jovic is going to start. Mainly, because again, I don't even know who they're going to start. They don't have Tyler Hero to begin the year. Khalil Ware, we know Spoelstra doesn't like to play him regularly, so I don't really know. But I don't hate this deal for Miami. I don't hate it. We should talk about Kuminga. The Kuminga stuff has been crazy. Mainly just the dialogue around it. I can't believe how much we've talked about Jonathan Kuminga this offseason. That's how quiet it's been. But the JK stuff is nuts. Steve Kerr. Daniel saying Bam at the 4, Ware at the 5. We might see. Yeah, I think we'll see them play together at times. Yeah, I do think we will see it. My guess is they probably start Davion, Norman Powell, and then Wiggins, and then one of Jovic or Ware along with Bam would be my guess. But who knows? So Steve Kerr said something crazy. They were talking about Jonathan Kuminga, how him coming back affects the locker room. Is he going to be bought in? Is it going to mess with the vibe, right? Is it going to mess with the vibe? This is Steve's response. He's like, listen, bro, we get a bunch of alphas in there. So first of all, calls Kuminga a beta right off the top. Calls him a beta. I don't know if that's good community building, but anyways, calls him a beta. He says, we got the alphas of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. And I'm not worried about the locker room going wild with those types of alphas. The revisionist history on that is crazy. Draymond Green, Alpha Draymond Green, literally punched one of your fucking teammates. Just punched him and blew up the season from the very beginning, right? There we go. That's Alpha number one. And then Jimmy Butler, listen, Jimmy Butler torpedoed the Chicago Bulls with Rondo, with the Rajon Rondo years, torpedoed the Bulls. Then he goes to Minnesota in one of the most wild exits in NBA history, gets himself out of Minnesota, and then basically quits on the Heat last season. Now, maybe you're Team Jimmy in that situation. I like the idea that you're like, oh yeah, I'm not worried about vibes. I'm not worried about vibes. We got Draymond, baby. He'll keep the vibes 100. That's just incredible stuff. Green also had a problem with KD. Yeah, that's true too. So I just thought, man, I thought that was so funny to just go out there and be like, I actually think it's fine, man. But Kuminga signs the deal. I mean, his agent has to be one of the worst agents in history, right? Basically gets the same deal that was offered to him at the beginning of the summer. I know we already talked about this. I don't think I want my agent going on podcasts. That's my hot take. I don't want my agent going on podcasts. Let's talk about Grimes, baby. The Quentin Grimes. He's officially a Sixer again. Grimes signed a 1-year, $8.7 million qualifying offer. He's got a no trade clause too. And the no trade clause basically, the Sixers offered to pay him $100K to waive the no trade clause. He was like, no, I want $300K. And Daryl Morey was like, I'm not that good at my job anymore. No, thank you. So Quentin Grimes has a no trade clause. And the Grimes stuff is interesting because these qualifying offers are pretty dangerous because, like with Cam Thomas and the Brooklyn Nets, same thing, right? He gets the $8 million, and then you just kind of see what happens this year. He's playing for a contract, but with Brooklyn being a bad team, there's real chances that they shut him down early because the Brooklyn does not control their pick the following season. So this season they have to go out there and lose on purpose. So like if Cam's not going to get the opportunity to play for that next contract, that's tough. Quentin Grimes, on the other hand, like the Sixers might need him. He went on like a generational run at the end of last season, but part of that, remember, is no Paul George, no Embiid, Maxey missed time, no McCain, right? But this season, they now have VJ Edgecombe. Paul George might not be ready to go at the start of the season. Embiid is ramping up for the 17th consecutive season. And then McCain is now out as well. Now, they went out there and said McCain is only like he's going to get reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. If he's only going to miss a couple of weeks, that ain't so bad. Like, that's kind of nice if that's what we're looking at. I kind of feel like it's going to be a little bit more than that, but we'll have to see. And then also nepotism alive and well, baby. Seth Curry getting the Thanasis treatment. Seth Curry's agreed to a 1-year deal with the Warriors. So there we go. That's nice. I heard Zach Lowe and Kirk Goldsberry talking yesterday. Does Seth Curry's jersey have SE? This is, again, they talked about this. I'm not taking credit for this. Does it have SE Curry on it? Or does Steph have S? Because what I think what has happened is probably Steph's jersey just says Curry, and then Seth's jersey says SE Curry on it. Now, I got to tell you, that's something that you'll talk about in therapy for a long time. Like, Seth has to be so just emotionally and mentally tough to just have that not bother you at all. You know? Other Curry, that's disrespectful. That's too disrespectful. Maybe they just put Poole on the back of his jersey. He just becomes a Jordan Poole stand-in. I don't know. But shout out. That's kind of fun. We get the Splash Brothers together. Anything else we missed around the league? Nafisa Collier's statements. If you guys haven't watched this, I'm sure you have by now. This is a couple days. I'll put the link in the chat. Oh, Curry Sr. is hilarious. The Collier statement was awesome. Just kind of threw a nuclear bomb in there. I think that's kind of it. That's kind of it from the last time we talked about. The Warriors signed all of their old guys. So that's fun. Let's get into some over-unders. You want to do some over-unders? We did the Western Conference on Monday, and I think I nailed it. I think we went 15 for 15. So we're going to go over to our friends over at the FanDuel app. We're going to go over to FanDuel, and we're going to find some picks. We're going to find some picks for this year. Curious what everybody's thoughts are. I think the East is going to be equally as hard as the West, but for different reasons. The West, everybody's so good, it's really hard to decide. The East, everybody's so bad that it's really hard to decide, which is kind of fun. But let's start with the Hawks. We'll go alphabetical on the East side. Hawks have an over-under at 47.5. Wait, hold on. Before we do that, Daniel says I have a bet with Amon Thompson most improved, but Nembhard might be a good shout as well. Yeah. I mean, Amon's going to be a great call. Amon has a chance of being like, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But Atlanta, 47.5. What did they do? They picked up Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They picked up Kristaps Porzingis. They also grabbed Luke Kennard. They have Jalen Johnson returning, Zachary Risache in year 2. And then they've got no Capella. They lose Capella, but they got Onyeka Okongwu season. Porzingis supposedly healthy. Another weird quote from KP being like, feeling better. The doctors still have no idea what the hell was wrong with me. Awesome. I don't really know what to do with this. I feel like Atlanta should be over, but that's a big jump, man. Atlanta, who is just like forever 500 as a basketball team, right? And now all of a sudden I'm like, you got to win 47, 48 games. My inclination is to go over here with how bad the Eastern Conference is. I like both Atlanta's ceiling and floor just because they have depth, man. They have depth. Like, even if you're not playing Porzingis all the time, I really like Okongwu's game. We didn't even talk about how Dyson Daniels, off of his most improved season, like averaging 5 steals a game for however long that was, right? So we assume they're starting 5. We've got Trey, Dyson Daniels at your 1-2. Does Risache still start at the 3? Jalen Johnson at the 4, and let's just say Porzingis at the 5 for now. I think what's nice about Porzingis and Okongwu, the way that they defend and stretch the floor, you could probably play them together so they can get weird and play them together. And then again, Risache, I think I had Risache starting, right? But then you got Nickeil Alexander-Walker coming off the bench in like a great 6-man role. I don't know. They're a pretty deep team, man. They're a pretty deep team. I think they're going to be a lot of fun, a lot of different ways they're going to be able to play. I think I want to go over here on 47.5. I feel like a fun bet would be Atlanta to finish with the best regular season record in the Eastern Conference to finish as the 1 seed. And that's not because I think they're the best team. I just think Cleveland is going to be so focused on making sure they are healthy when they get to the postseason. And then who knows with the Knicks? The Knicks are probably the favorite to be the 1 seed. I'll rank those when we get there. But anyways, 47.5. Let's talk about Boston here for a second. They're the next one up. 41.5 wins. I have no idea what to do with Boston, man. The talk of the town, shout out Ben Affleck, has been Jason Tatum. Is he going to play? The reports coming out of camp are so crazy with Boston right now. Joe Mazzulla said they're talking about doing 5 on and 5 off. So basically running hockey shifts. That makes me nervous. They basically want to do like run a 2-minute offense, just play with wild pace. Again, I think this is going to be one of those ripple effects for what we saw the Indiana Pacers do last season on this finals run with like obviously Halliburton the star, but it was just like an aggressive balls to the wall pace of basketball on both sides of it. Stan saying Boston is obviously tanking. I don't think they are obviously tanking. I think they could tank. I think the Celtics season is going to be decided by mid-December. By Christmas, we will know what the second half of the year will start. I think with the Eastern Conference being as dog shit as they are, there is a world where Boston is somehow flirting with that like 5 to 7 seed. And if they think they can hang in there, and if there is real hope, if there is real like a twinkle in Jason Tatum's eye, who thinks he's going to come back in like late February, early March, I think with Tatum, they're still not a championship level team, but they're like a 3 to 5 seed with Tatum, I think. So I do think the first couple of the months of the season will decide it. And if they get off to a really slow start, if Jaylen Brown or Derek White somehow miss 2 weeks, then they're cooked. They have no room for error. I think their starting 5 is going to look like Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, then Jaylen Brown, Chris Boucher, Nehemiah Queta, with their bench being Simon, Sam Hauser, and then whatever the fuck you're going to get, Like people are talking about how Xavier Tillman hasn't been healthy the last couple of seasons, which no one knew, I guess. He had like right knee swelling every day. Apparently he's lost a little weight. Looks like Al Horford knocking down corner threes. Luka Garza, the fact that we're even saying his name, we should probably be taking the under. And then they've got like, what are you getting from year 3, Jordan Walsh, year 2, Baylor Shireman, year 1, Hugo Gonzalez? I think, again, it depends. If they're going to play so fast, shoot a ton of threes, see what happens. I think from a fantasy perspective, if they are going to like try all year, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard and Anthony Simons are all awesome clicks. So is Nehemiah Queta in that sense. The Luka Garza disrespect is not crazy. He barely can play. He has not played. He does like what it is hard for me to have a respectful opinion when he's now in year 5, I think. And he hasn't been in. I think I lean over just because of how bad the East is, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not betting on it. I tell you that right now. But I'm not betting on it. All right, let's go to Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? Brooklyn here is at 20.5 wins. They have Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr., 2 guys that seem cancerous to the locker room, or at least to the podcasting community. Then they drafted 5 rookies. Igor, who I think has plantar fasciitis to start the season. What Luka are you talking about? Are you talking about Luka Garza right now, DJP? Who are you talking about? We were talking about Luka Garza on the Boston Celtics. Who are you talking about, DJP? Brooklyn Nets, Igor. Also, just shout out having a guy named Igor. Having a guy named Igor is fun. Oh man, I'm so mad at the chat right now. What are you guys talking about? Let's see. He's averaging 4 points on 83% shooting and 3.7. He's appeared in 12, so he's averaging 4 points. Thank you for having me look that up. You psychos. All right, let's keep going. Chris Boucher is not. Yeah, all right, we're done talking about Boston. Brooklyn, I think I'm just staying away from this, but I would pick the under on Brooklyn. I don't know who they're going to beat. Is Nick Claxton on the team at the end of the season? Nick Claxton has like a descending contract, is somebody you could throw into trades. Again, Brooklyn needs to lose this year. They don't control their pick the following season. So I'm going to take the under here. I'm actually not like thrilled. Best ball, DFS, so rare. Not really thrilled on owning any of these Brooklyn Nets. I'm sure they pop off at some point. Does Danny Wolf get rotated? I don't know. Day'Ron Sharpe? We're just saying names now. I'm taking the under on Brooklyn. No, thank you, Brooklyn Nets. How about the Charlotte Hornets? Over under 26.5. So Charlotte drafts Knipple. They have Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball. They don't have a center. You want to talk about the worst bigs in the league? Here's your bet. For every single night. Whoever the big man is against Charlotte, take their over on rebounds. Right now, Moussa Diabate is probably going to get the start, I would think. They have Plum Dog Millionaire still on that team. They also drafted the rookie Ryan Kalkbrenner, who I think is somebody that's going to get some run there by the end of the season. 26.5 wins, though. I feel like if you think LaMelo can stay healthy, that Brandon Miller stays healthy, I do think I would take the over. I'm with the common man in the chat of 26.5 there. I do think I would take the over. Just because, LaMelo at some point has to be good, right? And healthy. So give me the over. Give me the over on the Ball Bros, the Charlotte Hornets. Again, look at how bad this is, man. We get the tanking Celtics at 41. Brooklyn at 20, Hornets at 26.5. This is just so tricky. The Chicago Bulls. The Bulls are at 32.5 here. What did they do? They paid Josh Giddey. They extended Giddey, right? They got Kobe White there. I forgot Trey Jones is there. Patrick Williams got hurt yesterday in practice. They drafted Senge, right? Noah Senge from France. They've got Matas Buchelis, Top Shot legend Matas Bucelis in year 2. And then Vucci is still there, Nikola Vucevic. 32.5. I feel like I would take the over on Chicago. I think if you wanted to get real freaky deaky with it, you could make like I think there's a world where Chicago actually like if you believe in love after life after love. No, if you believe in what we saw the second half of the season from Chicago, right, where Josh Giddey was basically shooting 40+% from three, was just kind of just running up and down the court, like honestly playing themselves out of a better draft pick. I don't know. I think I could believe this a little bit. And Mark was saying you really have to believe in Giddey. I know. I go back and forth, man. It's hard. I don't want to. I mean, let's see Josh Giddey's last 30 games. Last 30 games, because that's basically the second half. He averaged, all right, in Josh Giddey's most recent 30 games from the 24-25 season, he averaged 19, 9, and 8 during that run. He had a 28, 16, and 11 game, like 19, 9, and 8, man. And again, he was shooting like decent from three on volume. Kobe White was awesome last year. I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to be playing at a breakneck pace. I think a lot of this depends on what we see from, like, can Giddey replicate what he did the second half of the season? Can Bucelis evolve a little bit more? And I got to be honest, Nikola Vucevic, his numbers have been slowly falling down a little bit. If that's going to continue, that becomes a problem for sure. Oh, Sneep's in the chat. Let's go Sneep-a-deepy. But anyways, I'm going to take the over on the Bulls, on the Chicago Bulls. All right, let's do the Cleveland Cavs next. Over 56.5. I'm going to say under. And here's why. Darius Garland, there's no real timetable on his return. He seemed positive the other day in his press on his media day. Oh yeah, that Giddey shot against the Lakers was awesome. But I think Donovan Mitchell is going to be limited a little bit. Again, Cleveland has to win in the postseason or this team gets blown up, right? If they don't do it this year, they're not going to do it. I think they will take their foot off the gas a little bit just to make sure they're ready to go. I still think Cleveland is the best team in the Eastern Conference. I think they have the best shot at going to the finals from the Eastern Conference. So I'm not trying to be disparaging towards the Cavs, but listen, they lost Ty Jerome. Max Strus is not going to be ready to go until like deep into the season. Darius Garland might not be ready to go to start the season. I think we'll see Mitchell be like Mitchell, Allen, and Mobley. You're probably not, again, putting the pedal to the floor. They're relying a lot on like Sam Merrill, Lonzo Ball's on this team. Like if he stays healthy, I guess that changes things a little bit. But 57 wins is a lot, even though the East sucks, and I just don't think they're going to be going nutso this season because I do think they want to be ready for the postseason. So give me the under on the Cavs. I'm sorry, Stubbs, but again, I still think they're the ones to come out of the East, but I like them. You're taking New York and Orlando over them in the playoffs. I think that's fun. I don't think that's crazy. I think they're going to be the favorite, but I don't think that's crazy. Let's do Detroit next. Detroit 46.5. So one thing that's pretty fun, the Pistons are picking up a lot of trade buzz here, according to hashtag sources, that Detroit's getting involved a little bit. And the name that keeps popping up, I know Bill Simmons talked about it a lot with Michael Pina on The Ringer this week, is Lauri Markkanen. Mike Lowry. No, it's Lauri Markkanen. Is he going to be on the move? And if so, is it a team like Detroit that's willing? And I'm curious. Honestly, we should have done the drop. I'm sorry, guys. Sleep at the wheel.
Detroit basketball. Detroit basketball.
But is like a Jaden Ivey package, Jaden Ivey and some picks. Oh, J-Catch right there in the chat. J-Catch, how are we feeling about Lauri Markkanen? Lauri Markkanen to the Pistons. Makes a ton of sense. For Ivy, some picks. Tobias Harris contract in there. I like the over on Detroit either way. I think Cade is going to finish top 5 in MVP voting this year. That's my hot take. Here's your top 5 for MVP voting. Lock it in right now. SGA, Nikola Jokic, Luka, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then Cade, Mother, and Cunningham. Because I think Cade is going to add with those Josh Giddey numbers we were just going over. That's what Cade's going to do. 20 plus 20. He's going to average a double-double, a near triple-double. Cade's going to go nuts this year. And then I think the biggest X factor for this team is the Thompson twin. Like, can Asar Thompson do anything offensively? We already know he's like one of the best defensive wing players in the league already. So I don't imagine that dips. But is he able to add anything to the offensive game and obviously just stay on the court? Jalen Duren, I think, is pretty steady. I like Detroit, man. I think Detroit plays defense too. They're tough. I think their biggest concern, JB Bickerstaff, maybe. But yeah, man, if you add Lowry playing next to Duren, I think he's like a perfect second guy, right? Doesn't need the ball in his hand, but can attack the rim. And if you get just even 80% of what we saw him doing for Finland in Eurobasket, was just like regularly putting up 40. And he took Finland to the Eurobasket finals, right? Or no, was it Finland versus Germany in the finals or Germany versus Turkey? I think it was, I can't remember. Semifinals at least. The final four of Eurobasket. Anyways, give me the over on the Pistons, baby. Give me the over on the Pistons. All right, let's slide down to the Indiana Pacers. 37.5. So this is my biggest concern with the Pacers here. Germany, Turkey. Sorry, my bad. My Armenian blood refuses to give Turkey any love. I'm sorry. I do hold grudges. Hot take, I'm against genocides. How's that? Is that a hot take? Actually, it weirdly is a hot take in this world right now. We're getting political in the morning. We need a mental health check. But I'm just not going to do it, guys. And it feels good to not cave to the chat because I am the boss. Like I said earlier, I'm in charge today. I am in charge. You can't tell me what to do. Man, I was so young then. My skin was like so clear. There was no grays. Like, look how freaking gray everything is now. All right, 37.5. My concern with the Pacers is they just don't tank. They never tank. They never lose on purpose. Their ownership hates it. Rick Carlisle, I think you could probably just say Carlisle is the best coach in the league right now. I think you could do that. The biggest issue here, right? Like obviously the Halliburton injury, but they also lost Miles Turner, which like whatever. You might not be a Miles Turner fan, but they're replacing it with like you were talking about the Celtics front court being bad and the Hornets. They replaced it with Isaiah Jackson, fresh off an ACL tear or an Achilles. James Wiseman, fresh off an Achilles. And then they got the bald wonder, Jay Huff. All right, so that's their big man rotation. They do have Andrew Nembhard leading the way. I'm a big Nembhard fan. Obviously, Spicy P is still there as well. Spicy Siakam. They've got Obi Toppin is still there. Benedict Mathurin. What do you get for him in the next year? I'm going to take the under on this, though. 37. That feels right. I feel like they probably win somewhere between 30 and 36 games. I think I'm going to take the under here. I just don't. I don't think they have enough. Halliburton is just such an engine, man. You know, I'll be curious to see how Carlisle coaches his team. Does Siakam? I'm not saying he's going to take a leap. He's already been an All-NBA guy, but I wonder how they like. I'm curious to see how they use him this year because the on-off numbers with Halliburton and Siakam last year, like you would think if Hallie doesn't play, Siakam goes nuts, right? That wasn't really the case last season, but I wonder with having a full offseason to coach up in like game plan for it, does Carlisle just put Siakam in better spots? Also, do they play the same breakneck pace without Halliburton? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Also, Ben Shepherd. Watch this space for Ben Shepherd this year. Miami Heat. Let's go, Will Smith. We're going to Miami. 37.5. Listen, man, if this Hero injury is long-term, give me the under. If you tell me Hero's back by Thanksgiving, I'll go over. If you think he's not back till after that, I think I would go under. I think you're relying on a lot of development from young guys, right? Because without Hero, it's a lot of Davion Mitchell. It's a lot. And like Wiggins and Powell are nice, but there's no real. They've got a bunch of third guys. Bam Adebayo, Wiggins, Norman Powell. What are you going to get from Jovic? What are you going to get from Jaime Jaquez Jr.? What are you going to get from Khalil Ware? I think I'm going to go under, though. Honestly, I don't want to be this guy. Is the Spoelstra Miami run over? Is it time? Not that he's a bad coach, but is it time to shake the snow globe, do something a little different? I don't know. I just don't like the vibes there. I don't like the vibes in Miami right now. And again, I wonder how many of these Eastern Conference teams, like if they look around, they get off to a slow start, do they just shut it down? Like, let's look at you're saying no. So Spo stays, but Riley is over. Let's look at the Miami Heat schedule to start the year. You're not going to see it. I'll show it on my side here. Let's see. I don't care about the preseason. Show me the regular season, Google. All right, so they open up. They get the Magic, the Grizzlies, the Knicks, the Hornets, Spurs, Lakers. That's their first 6. 1-5. They beat the Hornets. I think I would take they're on the road against Orlando, dub for Orlando, on the road against Memphis, home against the Knicks, home against the Hornets, on the road against the Spurs, Lakers, then Clippers, Nuggets. That's a tough start. Maybe the tank is in early. Let's go to the Milwaukee Cucks, 42.5. All right. Doc Rivers went out of his way to be like, guess who's starting? Point guard. There's no... The starting point guard, baby, Kevin Porter Jr.
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers. Throwing things in buzzer beater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
He said he wants Kyle Kuzma's shot selection to be better. You're going to see a lot of like AJ Green's going to have to play a lot. They did get Miles Turner. Man, it's hard. Like, if Giannis misses a month, it's over, right? If Giannis gets hurt at all. Also, there's like weird Giannis is basically, he came out and said, like, yeah, we explored trade options. I don't know what my future will look like. If they get off to a slow start, do all of a sudden those, like, is Houston knocking on the door being like, hey, what do you think about Reed Shepherd, Tyree Eason, and a bunch of picks? You know, does that conversation start happening early? 42.5 is, I mean, that feels right. I'm going to say over because it is Giannis. If you think Giannis plays a full 70 games, Giannis alone can drag you to 45 wins, right? But it doesn't feel good. It's a lot of Kevin Porter Jr. It's a lot of Kyle Kuzma. I know we talked about this a lot. I'm surprised Bradley Beal didn't go to Milwaukee. I feel like Beal would have immediately been their second best player if he went to the Bucks, but I don't know. It's the Eastern Conference. Anything can happen. Let's go to the New York Knicks, baby. 53.5. Give me the over. Give me the over on this one. I feel like they're a fun 1-seed pick here. Mike Brown has already come out and said he's not going to play Brunson 55 minutes a game. That's good news. It sounds like Mitchell Robinson might start. They might do a little twin. They're bringing the Twin Towers back. Never forget. But Mitch Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns starting next to each other with Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Brunson. You got Josh Hart, Deuce McBride coming off the bench. They got Landry Shamet for cheap. I don't know. I feel like they got somebody else, too, that I'm forgetting. But I think the Knicks are going to win a ton of regular season games. I think Mike Brown, it was a good time to switch up coaching. I like the Mike Brown addition. Give me the over. I don't think there's much to say about that. Orlando is when we start having fun. They add Desmond Bane. They add Tyus Jones. Their biggest question mark, besides health, Paolo and Franz both missed a ton of time last year with the obliques. Their big 2 question marks, Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Wagner, and Jonathan Isaac, right? And Goga Batadze. I think that's like technically their big man rotation. Is that going to be enough? Is that enough from your 5 to like get you through postseason rounds? 50.5 wins. Give me the over. I think they're going to be over. I think Paolo's going to be flirting with first team All NBA for a little bit, but I'm going to put him on the second team. I think Paolo's going to be awesome. I think Franz's life is going to be a little bit easier because we're not like the biggest issue with Orlando last year was shooting. And so then you're relying on Franz to do it. And now Franz can, like, if he hits threes, cool. Like, hopefully his shot is figured out. But with Desmond Bain there now, you're not so reliant on him. Also, Anthony Black. I feel like Anthony Black has a chance to be special for them as their version of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. If his offensive game can just evolve a little bit, just a little bit, because I think his defensive versatility is going to be important for them off the bench. Like that two-man of Tyus Jones and Anthony Black coming off the bench for them is going to be pretty fun, I think. I like Anthony Black. They also have Tristan De Silva, who is playing some Eurobasket, and maybe he evolves a little bit too. And I don't know. I like Orlando. Mark's smashing the over. Stan's calling for Vucci Main to make his way over there. Okay. I want to see Paolo play a bit of the 5 with a small ball. Yeah, I think you can do it too. I think you can do that too. 76ers here, 42.5, same as the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm going to just say under. Like, it should work. McCain, Edgecombe, Maxey, Paul George, Kelly Oubre, Joel Embiid. That should be over 42.5 wins. I'm taking the under because I'm done believing in Philadelphia basketball. I'm just done. On paper, sure, it makes a ton of sense. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You can't get me to believe in them anymore. Nick Nurse feels like all-time negative vibes. No thanks. No thanks. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You can argue last year was the year from hell. No thanks. No thanks. Under. What else? We have one team left. No, 2 teams left. The Toronto Raptors, 39.5. Give me the over. We the North. The case for Toronto is that their starting 5 stays healthy. And their starting 5 is legit good. I know nobody wants to believe in them. They all feel way overpaid for what they do. Sure, fine. I don't care. It's not my money. Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and Jakob Poeltl. Do they have anybody that can shoot the 3? No. They're going to rely a lot on Emmanuel Quickley. They're going to rely a lot on Brandon Ingram, maybe to step out and knock down a 3. Is Scotty finally going to make the leap that everybody's waiting for? I don't know. And then listen, you got Grady Big Old Dick. You got Jonathan Mogbo. That's all the bench guys I can list. So that's the problem. If somebody gets hurt, then it's Jover. But I think 39.5 in a bad Eastern Conference to get to play the Hornets, the Wizards, and the Nets a bunch. I like it. I like Toronto. Give me the over on Toronto. And last but not least, the Wizards, 21.5. I don't know, dude. So CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton are still there. How long are they going to play for them? How often are they going to play? You got to imagine both of those guys are on different teams come February. I do like them a lot from a fantasy perspective. Not those 2 guys, but Washington in general. Alex Sarr, year 2. They have no big guys. It's like Alex Sarr, Bagley, and then not Nikola, but Tristan Vukcevic. Bilal Coulibaly's going to miss the start of the season. Corey Kispert's still there. I think the starting 5 is probably some version of like CJ, Bub Carrington. I don't know who else. Chris. Does Keyshawn George start the 4, Sarr at the 5? I don't know. They're going to be a bad team. Give me the under. Power Duff says, remember no Brandon All last year, and IQ played 30 games, and they were purposely losing. Yeah. I think over's good, man. I think the over's fine. But again, like this means IQ has to stay healthy, who is always feels dinged up. And Brandon's has to stay healthy. If they both stay healthy, I think you can do it. So to recap, we went under on Washington. We went over on Toronto. We went under on Philly. We went over on the Magic. We went, I don't know, over on the Bucks, I think. We went under on Miami. Then we went, I popped them down. I think we went under on the Pacers, over on Detroit, under on Cleveland, over on Chicago, over on Charlotte, under on Brooklyn. I don't know what I said on the Celtics, and then over on Atlanta. I'm not going to pick the Celtics. I'm not going to pick. The sun is coming in through the trees. Beautiful day here in New York. Let's pop over to Underdog here for a second. Oh, wait, actually, let's shout out Splash Sports. If you guys aren't messing around, we've got some Splash Sports contests today. We got a $5 one. We got a bunch of stuff. Splash has been fun if you haven't been messing around over there. Actually, one thing, not to bring the energy down here. One thing I wanted to say, for those that were here during the early days, the early Top Shot days, you might remember our guy. This is crazy, just talking like this with the sun in my face. I'm sorry, but you guys might remember Jonathan Worley, Mr. Worley. I think his YouTube username was Whirly Bird. Whirly Bird and Randa Run. They were here in the early Top Shot days. I believe Whirly Bird. I think they both came on stream and ripped some packs. Whirly Bird, they were so funny. I feel like they would get hammered in the chat during those pack rib streams and were like really, really funny. They were there from the early days. I've stayed in touch with them. Our guy, Randa Run, they were married. Her name is Andrea. She passed away after her battle from cancer. I found that out yesterday. Whirly Bird had hit me up. I'm going to share some information in the Discord over the course of the week as it comes in. But just wanted to send my love to those guys, to Whirly Bird specifically, who I know was going through a long battle and was really sad to see. They they were like when I think of like the creation of Team Hold and when that started, the early days, and when we're up here like in the queues for packs and everybody was waiting to come on stream and rip packs together. It's just, they were the names that I remember from the very early days with some of you guys who I know a lot of you have been here from the beginning, but my love to them. I'll share some information in the Discord and in the chat as it comes in, but I just want to pass that along. So shout out Whirly Bird. Shout out Whirly Bird. Let's go over to, what a smooth transition now to be like, here's what I've gambled on. So I apologize, but let's go over to the Underdog app here, because I just wanted to just poke around here. They were young. Late 30s, early 40s, I believe. Late 30s, early 40s. Super young. Very sad stuff. There was a long battle too. I feel like a 3-year battle. I'm gonna show you guys. I've done too many double dribbles at this point, guys. Too many double dribbles. We're at 80 of them now. 80 of them. We did all 20 bounce passes, the $3 ones. Just wanted to go through some exposures here. I'll just do the double dribble and take the $3 one out of it. As I was mentioning, man, lots of Keyshawn George here. A lot of Keyshawn George. A lot of Pool Party. A lot of Keontae George. We get some Bub in there, some IQ. Scam Thomas is like really falling in drafts, so I've been taking a little bit more of him. We got some Jalen Wells, some Cole Anthony, some KPJ, some Ice Trey down there. Been taking a lot of Trey. Giddy started to fall. I had a lot of Giddy for a while, but his draft price is changing, so I've been changing with that. We get the Wangs. We got Trey Murphy and Franz still leading the way. Trey's starting to get a little more expensive, so not getting as much of him. BI right there. We got some Koulibaly, who I had a ton of, but since he got hurt, I slowed down. Some Hendricks, the Boucher, some Wig, some Herb, some Amon Thompson at 16%. That's aging nicely. I wanted to check Giannis. Giannis 7%. Not a ton of Giannis. That has more to do with draft position. And then the bigs here, we got the Filipowski, the Okongwu, Khalil Ware. Lively. I should mention Daniel Gafford looks like he's going to miss a couple of days after rolling an ankle. Some Zion in there. Joker at 12%, which is nice. Been drafted Embiid because he's going in like the 5th round, which is crazy. The Goon, Wemby. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't know if I'm doing all 150. We might slow down here and just do 100. But we'll be streaming some drafts tomorrow. We're going to do a little Elite Fantasy Hoops draft and talk some So Rare. We're going to do that tomorrow afternoon. And then speaking of So Rare, the MLB show today at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Our guy Taylor Meyer, going to be joining the show. I got a decent sweat over on So Rare for baseball. Jump shoot, I think, is in like top 5 right now. So I'm not in the or second. I'm not full jump shoot, but I got a nice little sweat going. But yeah, excited to tell you guys what we got coming up. If you're an oversubscribed member, we got a meeting next Wednesday, or this coming Wednesday on October 8th, with some fun announcements that I'll eventually share with everybody else, but oversubscribe first. But yeah, just get ready. Less than 3 weeks away. Hopefully have some more fun announcements on Monday. NBA Bit, I think next week we're going to at least be 3 days a week, maybe 4 days a week. And then as we get closer with more and more news, we're going to start going to 5 days a week. But I should have the full schedule for everybody midweek next week. But in the meantime, I'm going to go rub some icy hot on my back. It's on fire right now from sitting in this chair after hooping last night. Hope everybody has, a strong day. Hope you have a strong little Thursday. Enjoy some playoff baseball. We got one of the ugliest football games in a while tonight. I think I'm playing wide receiver for the Niners. Sick. But that's going to do it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow with some fantasy stuff, or tune into the So Rare Show at 4 o'clock. 89 Cavs are back next week, too, by the way. 89 Cavs are back. I think Monday, actually. So get ready. Get ready for the first. This might be year 5 of the Cavs loading. Year 5, baby. Love to see it. Excited to hang with those guys. All right. Enjoy the day. See you tomorrow. We out.